Thanks for inviting me to participate. I'm super excited to talk about our seed bomb project. So my name is Linda McClean. I am the director for Colville Reservation WSU Extension. We are the only MOU funded unit within the WSU land grant university system. So technically there are 39 county extension programs and 1 tribal extension program within WSU. We are on par with our county counterparts. So again, I'm the director of our office. We're located in Nespelem, and we provide outreach education on the areas of agriculture, natural resources, and family and consumer sciences, and 4-H positive youth development. So what I'm here today to talk about is our seed bomb project. And this is a project that we started in collaboration with our Colville Tribal and BIA natural resource programs. And we take education out to the schools, to the youth, and teach them how to make seed bombs using native plants, native seeds, and air dry clay and potting soil. And then we distribute them out on the rangelands. The idea stemmed from the fact that we experienced a large fire in we experience fires every year, but we experienced a large fire in 2021, and it affected a lot of the young people here in the Nespelem area, as many homes were burned and people had to be evacuated. And so we thought a good way to incorporate youth into citizen science projects was to help them give back to their community. Because many times after fire devastation, we hear cries from everybody saying, we need to get out and plant, we need to revegetate. And so unfortunately, a lot of times that can't happen with just the general population because of policies or safety or what have you. So this was a way for the young people to give back to their community and help reestablish some important plants to our landscape. So we met with we served 638 kids through this project last year. We had created a video during COVID on how to make the seed bombs. And then last year, like I said, we met with the schools individually and taught the kids how to make these seed bombs. Basically, it's a little ball of air dry clay. You form a little bowl, you sprinkle some seeds in and some potting soil, close it back up and make a ball, let them dry, and then we throw them out on the landscape. So we did coordinate with our Colville Tribal Rains Conservationist and our WSU Master Gardener to create the seed mix. It's a specialty seed mix that we had created using native plants that are typically found here on the Colville Reservation. It's comprised of 12 different forbs, and all are used in the hopes of attracting pollinators, because that's the other thing. Everybody's, wanting to help the pollinators and help reestablish environment for them to be successful as well. So we worked with 5 schools, K through 8, basically, 1 after school program, 1 Head Start program, which is a 3 to 5-year-olds, and then 2 Boys and Girls Clubs. And then there again, like I said, we served 638 youth. And we met in the schools during their class time, taught them how to make the seed bombs, provided some outreach education and information on the different types of pollinators, different types of plants, and fire control, as Mount Tolman Fire Prevention was one of our partners as well. So then after we reached all the students, then later in June, we took them out on a field trip to 3 separate sites on the Chuya Creek fire burn area, and let them distribute their seed bombs and throw them out there, and hopefully they're going to grow. So with all the snow and rain that we had this year, my fingers are really crossed that these plants are growing and going to pop out of the ground, because we're getting ramped up to start this project again. We'll make more seed bombs here in the month of May with the various schools on the reservation. And then we will take the kids out again on a field trip to visit those same sites, and they will hopefully get to view the flush of new growth that their seed bombs have started. And the idea was to help with plant diversity. There just wasn't any diversity out there after the fire. So we used 1 tribal range plot, 1 fish and wildlife mitigation plot, and then we also utilized the Smoky Bear sign right on Highway 155 because it was in close walking distance to the Head Start building. The cost of this program was very minimal. Like I said, we served 638 kids, and the cost was roughly $1,600 just for the clay, the seed mix, and the potting soil. I did not include any staff time or travel time in that, but we used just a basic air dry clay, a simple potting soil, and then that specialty seed mix. Any questions? I think I had 5 minutes to present, right, Joe?
You had more than that, but I think that's a great summary and left some good time for discussion. But if you did want to share anything else, you'd be more than welcome. But yeah, it sounds like Janelle is really impressed, and there's some questions from Tanya at WSU asking what species were in the seed mix. Do you know these details?
Right off the top, I can grab something really quick and tell you. Hang on just a sec.
Okay, I think I had seen Linda present a poster on this at the Northwest Intertribal Ag Council meeting, and so there is some resources. I'm not sure if it's written up online, but she'd probably be welcome. Or Linda, would you be willing to share the poster draft you have if anyone wanted to follow up with you too?
Oh, sure. Do you want me to share it on screen now or send it to people?
That'd be lovely. It's you're getting lots of questions, so I'm glad you're with us and have so much time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I guess to answer the first question, so there were 12 plants incorporated in the seed mix: arrow leaf balsam root, Carey's balsam root, Chelan penstemon, cushion fleabane, fern leaf biscuit root, 9-leaf biscuit root, Oregon sunshine, firecracker penstemon, shaggy fleabane, sulfur buckwheat, western yarrow, Lewis flax. And again, we collaborated with our tribal range conservationist and a master gardener to develop that mix.
Yeah, that's neat because it sounds like it's really location specific as well. And so, maybe there's other master gardeners that would be happy to work with you to create your own seed mix. Did you have any trouble getting the seeds?
No, we contacted a seed company and told them what we were looking for, and they had no problem creating the seed mix for us. It's rather expensive. That's the most expensive portion of our project is getting that specialty seed mix. But the reason we were so particular is because we are on the Colville Indian Reservation. It's federal lands, and we did not want to put anything out on the range that would turn into an invasive species or a noxious weed that our Fish and Wildlife or our range department or environmental trust was going to have to try to control. And so we really wanted approval from all those entities so that we were putting something out there that would be healthy for the land and not cause a problem down the road. And we did get sign off from Fish and Wildlife, range, and environmental trust on that mix. So
that's incredible. Yeah, there's some good questions. Sky would like to hear a little more about forming the seed balls, and then whether you ever tried to bury them or whether they were just kind of literally thrown into the landscape. Those are good questions, Sky.
Yeah, really good questions. This is turning into kind of an experiment because I'm really curious to know if these are actually going to grow out in the wild. The idea is that these air dry clay will absorb the water and basically melt and feed the seeds with the potting soil inside will feed the seeds, as well as the water from nature will go into them and help them sprout and grow. No, we did not bury them. We just had the kids toss them on the ground or throw them. Some of our older kids were really good at throwing. I think they play baseball. So we have a couple of good pictures of them really chucking it out there. But the little guys, they just dropped them where they were walking. And we did observe our Head Start group was walking on top of them. So we're kind of hoping that maybe that smashed them open and was allowing the water to get in a little easier. I'm curious, like I said, to see how this is going to do this spring, because the research has shown or said that, you just throw the balls out there and the water magically melts the clay, and we'll see. I don't know. I'm very anxious to see what our trip is going to be like in June, because we did look into these. Most of these plants will not bloom until May, June-ish. So we're not scheduled to go on our field trip and probably until the end of May, 1st of June.
Hey, Linda, was there also some pictures of those sites too, before and then maybe after, that you're planning to share too?
Yes, yes. Yes and no. I didn't get quite as many before pictures. Can I share the screen? I might be able to put the poster up, because I do have
Yeah,
a couple of in the black, and
okay,
see if I can actually put that up there. Oh, good.
awesome. Thanks, Linda.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. So up here is up on Cache Creek. It's about 8 miles east of Nespelem. And this is a range plot out there, and that's definitely in the burn. She's just putting her little seed bomb down there. This gentleman is down here on the cutoff road. Robert will know where that is, but it's approximately 4 miles northeast of Nespelem, and it's in the green. It looks like it's good, but it was in June, so it was already growing some grasses, but there isn't much plant diversity out there. It was just basically grasses. No forbs were really visible that we could see, but we do have those plants. I do have a burn picture. I can't bring it up right now, but I do have a burn picture of this grassy area of when the fire was right after the fire. So that'll show what it looks like after. This is a little bit deceiving because it is green, but this was actually the black part of the actual burn. So
Yeah,
I'm
and those are
hoping that it looks beautiful after we see our plants growing.
that does look really nice. It looks like a really important project. And those are the seed bombs in the top right, correct?
Yep, these are the actual seed bombs. This project was called Hualt Steel Item Hulau, which is Insulchin for heal the land. We tried to incorporate some of the native language because the whole idea was to heal the earth for our people and allow the membership and the youth to contribute to that healing. And so we created buttons as kind of a gift to give to the kids. When they made their seed bombs, they got to take that home. We did create a letter home to send to the parents to tell them what they had created that day and the importance of it, as well as a list of the actual plants that they had. And we also created a list for our teachers. It had simple instructions on how to do this, how to create the seed bombs, where they could find other resources to help them, and then access to a video. If you look down here on how to make the seed bombs, there is a link to a YouTube video that it's actually me showing how to make the seed bombs and talking a little bit about pollinators and the benefits of. And then below that is another link to a 4-H national curriculum on pollinators. And that provides a lot of extra resources that school teachers or home teachers or parents or anybody can actually utilize to help their kids learn more about pollinators and the need for helping them. But there's crafts in there, there's little projects they can create, and then there's also information on the pollinator itself. But this project started in COVID time when we couldn't meet in person, and we still needed to provide outreach education for ag and natural resources. So we created the video and we created the little kits and gave to all the local schools and after school programs, and they sent them home with their students and they created them. And at that time we did use the same seed mix because we wanted to be sure that nobody was putting anything noxious out onto the land. But this could really be replicated by anybody that wants to do it in their area. They could use wildflower seeds if they want to grow some kind of a blanket garden. They could just put vegetable seeds in there and throw out there, or just, natural food for animals and wildlife to have some extra food. And then you could also do different grasses for erosion control. We just happened to select the forbs because we wanted to do kind of a dual purpose project of helping the wildfire landscape, as well as attract pollinators to the area. So it's easily replicable. I do have other counterparts across the state that have been utilizing it with their 4-H clubs, and then different people in different programs. We are a FERTEP program, which is federally recognized tribes extension program with USDA NIFA. And we have a group of people across the nation that are part of the FERTEP program as well on different reservations. And some of our counterparts on different reservations have used it. I know for a fact that Warm Springs has made a lot of seed bombs down in Oregon. And then, like I said, different Washington State 4-H coordinators have utilized this project as well in their 4-H programming.
It's really great, Linda, and thanks for sharing all the details on how to do this at home and with other communities. I think the real awesome part of this is you're doing it with the youth and getting them involved in healing the land. And you could probably, I'm sure there's industries that would want to do this to make money, but it's way cooler if you get the kids involved.
Interesting enough, I think there are programs out there that create seed bombs, but you have to be very careful about what's in those seed bombs. We did have a group reach out to us this spring. Actually, it was our casino. They reached out and they wanted to do this for Earth Day, and they wanted to buy a bunch of seed bombs and give out to people for Earth Day and give out to the different kids in schools. And I said, well, that would be fine, but where are you sourcing these seed bombs from, and what seeds are actually in it? Because we don't want to get something that, like I said, will cause an invasive problem later down the road. But there are, commercially made seed bombs that a person could buy if you wanted to give gifts for somebody, but they are so simple to make that it's really affordable for people to do if they just want to help their landscape around the area. And honestly, seed bombs began as sort of guerrilla warfare on green properties in the urban areas. What they would do was people would make these seed bombs with flowers or grasses or different plant seeds in it, and they would walk around their cities and their communities, and if they'd see a vacant lot, they would just throw these seed bombs out there and hope that vegetation started growing there. So it's really a simple form of guerrilla warfare more than anything, but it really is a way to help our earth, heal itself and regenerate. And I can't see, are there any more questions? I only got a few in the chat line. So if there's more questions.
Yeah, Dan had commented that maybe you could trample some of the seed bombs with livestock, if that was, maybe help them open. I think you got to, so there was one question about monitoring, but it sounds like you're going to go back in June or May and kind of determine, assess how it worked. And so.
Yeah, we've got our Fish and Wildlife Department. They are going out and checking the progress and growth of the plants. So we're hoping that they will give us a report here soon to see where we're at on that. Okay. Because it is that one green field that you see there with the kid throwing his seed bomb. That is Fish and Wildlife, Tribal Fish and Wildlife mitigation ground for sage grouse habitat, I believe. And they're checking to make sure, hopefully we got new growth coming up. So when we do our field trip this year, we're going to incorporate more actual education. So we did the education in the classroom last year, and we'll do a little bit more this year. And we're going to focus on pollinators in the classroom when we're making the seed bombs. And then when we take the youth out for their field trips, the plan is to have different stations so that the kids can rotate through and they can do like a transect. They can identify plants, do activities that relate to pollinators. So we have a variety of little activities we want them to do and participate in so that they can get more hands-on education out in the field.
That's excellent, Linda. It sounds like there's a lot of different directions you can go next, and we're excited to see and would love to hear updates. So thank you so much for sharing your time and sharing about this really cool project. And we really appreciate it.